Good evening, namaste or adab. Today is 2nd of April, which is recognized as World Autism Awareness Day. A day to come together to learn about autism, to know about the rights of autistic individuals, and to put an effort to create an inclusive community. And today we have with us three very special guests who will be talking in detail about autism and its challenges. So let's welcome our first guest. Our first guest is Naomi Menon, who is founder and director of Inclusive Ed. Inclusive Ed is an education center in Bangalore which aims to be a safe learning space for children and young adults in need of academic, social, emotional, and behavioral support. Naomi holds a MSc in Counseling Psychology from Christ University, Bangalore, and has completed her MIt in Inclusive Education from the University of Glasgow. She is also a member of the International Association for Special Education. With over 8 years of rich experience in the domain, she has been influenced by various theories and practices from around the world and her own observations and experiences that provide a background to her therapy models. A strong believer in inclusive education, she believes in supporting each child individually in accordance with their needs. So let's welcome Naomi Menon. Hello, Naomi.
Hi, thank you, Shweta. Thank you for having me here.
A very good evening to you, Naomi, and it's a pleasure to have you on our platform. Thank you so much for giving us your valuable time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, with your permission, may I please call the next guest?
Yes, sure.
Okay, our next guest is a very special person. She's Dr. Shivali Dixit Saxena, whom many of us know already. She's a certified emotional intelligence, NLP, and life coach. She holds a master's in psychology and human resource management, holds a postgraduate diploma in guidance and counseling, and a PhD in emotional intelligence. Having worked in the corporate world for over 12 years, these days she's working extensively towards creating awareness towards mental health, emotional empowerment, and autism spectrum disorder. She has lately founded her page also, a very good, very informative FB page, The Spectrum Autism. So let's welcome Dr. Shivali Dixit. Hi,
Hi,
Dr.
thank you.
Shivali.
Thank you so much, Shweta. Thank you so much for having me here. Hi, Naomi. Good to see you.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Shivali, for giving us your time. It's really a pleasure for us to have you on our platform. Thank you so
I
much.
won't have missed it for anything today coming here, so I'm here now with you. Thank you
I'm
so much for
sure.
having me on the
I'm sure
show.
it's a very special day for you too.
It is, it is. Thank you.
Okay, so let's welcome our third guest, a very strong lady, Indrani Chatterjee, who is from Kolkata, a self motivated writer, perfective homemaker, and mother to her only autistic child, Krishnendu, who is 17 years old. Even from the barred layer of felicity, her emotions occasionally well up to inundate the white in blue. Nothing is ceremonial about her revelation and approach, purely self motivated. She only wishes her readers to glide along the rhythmic undulations of her penmanship. She is also an ardent music lover, specializing in Rabindra Sangeet. Currently, she is pursuing senior diploma in the same. Her son also shares the same love for music and also following the diploma course of Rabindra Sangeet. It perfectly shapes the bonding between both of them. Her journey with her autistic son has changed her perspective for life, and she is determined to fight for her son's integration in community living and learning. So let's welcome Indrani ma'am. Hello, Indrani ma'am. Thank you so much for gracing our platform. You need to unmute your mic, Indrani ma'am.
Yeah, sorry. Hello, Shweta. I'm so honored to be a part of this special event. I'm myself very much in the journey. So, thank you so much. And I would like to hear from you all. your perspective
Thank
about
you.
autism.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I'm sure that our conversation is going to give us a deep insight about what autism is actually about and what we can do about it. So, this is very special and very important to know that what all we can do about autism. So, let's start with Naomi first. Naomi, my first question goes to you. Like, first of all, in a very layman language, there are many people, who don't know about autism, that what exactly is autism. So first we want to know from you that what is autism and what is autism spectrum.
Okay, so thank you, Shweta. So autism and autism spectrum disorder is the same thing in a sense, the similar terms. It is a disorder. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder, which means that the way the brain is, whether the way the brain functions, the way the brain is wired, it is different from a neurotypical person. Now, a neurotypical person is a person whose brain has developed typically according to the standards that we have or the criteria that we have.
Right.
Autism is also a disorder that a child is born with. There's no known cause as yet. There are multiple causes that can be there. So there's no one cause that can that causes autism. It is a condition. It is not a disease. It is a condition that a child is born with, and it is a condition that is there throughout the child's life. Now, a child with on the spectrum can have strengths and can have challenges like any other child that we see, and it is a spectrum, which means
Right.
that it is not something that is linear. It is not a straight line, and a child
Mhm.
falls anywhere on that straight line. It is
Okay.
something like a circle where the child can fall anywhere in that circle and with different challenges. So each child with autism also has different challenges. You don't find two children on the spectrum to be the same. They will
To
have
be
their own challenges,
right.
their own behaviors, their own their own strengths as well. So and I mean that's what I can explain in a nutshell of what autism is. There's a lot to it, and it is also very specific to that particular individual.
Exactly,
I
that's
hope
true, ma'am.
that answers your question.
So you have used this term neurodivergent and neurotypical. So can you please explain these two terms also?
Yeah. So neurodivergent is we use this term to refer to an individual whose brain is wired differently. It could
Right.
be a person who is on the spectrum. It could be a person with other disabilities as well that we see commonly.
Mhm.
Neurotypical is where the person's brain is developing according to the milestones that we have, is developing according to the criteria. So, in a sense, majority of society is neurotypical, and there is
Neurotypical.
a group of society, a group of people who are neurodivergent. Uh, we don't use the terms normal or abnormal at all, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
normality is subjective. There is actually no normal as such. Each person's normal is different.
right,
So we use the terms neurodivergent and neurotypical to refer to these two groups of individuals.
right. That is very important for everybody to know that how we are going to call these, children or individuals. That is
Yeah,
very important to know.
yeah.
Exactly. So, Shivali, I want to come to you with the question that what are the symptoms of autism and what is the right age to detect them?
Thank you for the question, Shweta. And this question is actually very, very important for all the new parents to keep a watch on, because those kids who are recently born within 6 months, 7, 8 months, they start showing symptoms based upon their age specific criteria. And as it happens that initially because of the vaccinations, you have to visit a pediatrician at an
Right,
interval, certain interval after 24 weeks, 38 weeks, 48 weeks likewise. So when a parent realizes that the child is missing out on multiple age specific criteria, that is the first alert that they need to check with the pediatrician very, very quickly without delaying it. without thinking. A lot of times we get into the zone ki kai bacche dheere se, they take some time to, there's a delay
Yes. Yes.
in achieving certain milestone. It is absolutely fine, which is fine, but there's no harm in consulting a pediatrician to check, because the earlier you identify those symptoms, it is easier for you to start taking the interventions, and the earlier that you start the intervention, the faster would be the recovery, right?
Recovery.
Though it would not be
Exactly.
100% recovery, but there are chances that you would really make a great progress there. So symptoms like lack of eye contact, lack of responding to the name, uh, gross and fine motor development, and balance of the body generally. A lot of times you would have seen, and I repeat this because these are the basic things that the doctors would check. Whenever you take a child for a pediatrician visit, they would check the weight of the child, the length of the body, they will measure the circumference of the head. Now, these are very, very minute parameters for them to check whether the child is. So there are different ranges defined. If you look at the vaccination card, and now I'm sure people
Yeah.
who are watching, they should go back and look at their child's, the initial vaccination chart, and look at where the child is falling. So they give you three different ranges: below
Right.
average, average, and above average. So in any of these categories, if the child is missing out on any of these criteria, right, which are age specifically defined criteria, that is the first sign for you to quickly visit a pediatrician, and then they will tell you where to go and whom to connect. And I
Okay.
think that's the first thing that you should do, and do not shy away from doing that.
And pediatrician is someone who's easily available because the parents are obviously going to them for the vaccinations and all. So
Correct,
that's the
correct.
easily available doctor, or you can say the person whom you can approach, and then of course they'll guide you further whom to go.
Definitely, because they know the moment that the pediatrician is able to identify, he or she would tell you whom to connect with.
Yes.
And most pediatricians are very well connected, and the network is really good nowadays. So
Right.
they'll be
Right.
able to guide you through. I'm not saying this was the same situation 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, but now, because of the COVID times, everybody is, even consultations are happening online. So therefore, everybody is
Yes.
more connected than ever.
Exactly. That's absolutely true,
Sorry, can
Shivali.
I
Yeah.
just to say, if your pediatrician does not know or is not identifying those signs, some pediatricians do overlook the signs of autism because it also depends on what age you take the child. Usually, most children start showing signs between the age of 2 or 3, when their movement is a lot more, when when parents are trying to get them to speak, when parents are trying to get them to respond to their name, things like that. So
Yes.
if parents do take their children at that age, and the pediatrician says no, there's nothing wrong, don't worry, or you're worrying too much or whatever, I would say parents trust your own gut, because usually
Right.
parents are right about their own instinct. So if you as a parent feel that there is something else happening, you take that charge and find out where else you can go. Don't rely completely on your pediatrician if you feel that the pediatrician is not taking you seriously, because
Right.
sometimes
Absolutely.
it can happen, it can happen where the pediatrician is not noticing these signs, and it may not happen in that space, in that environment. So if you as a parent feel that no, that I need to check for sure, find out there are lots of other places that you can go to and check, and get a consultation done.
Absolutely. That's very important to keep a check on all these things yourself. As a parent, that is very important. Right. So, Indrani ma'am, how and when did you realize that your child is neurodivergent? So, did he show
Krishnendu,
some signs?
yeah, when he was 1.5 years old, I started to observe his delayed milestones. He was actually
Right.
crawling and was not taking any initiative of standing on his legs. So then I was really alarmed why he's not yet walking. Actually, from around a child's 11 or 12 months, they start standing up, holding something support, or maybe taking little steps forward, small distances. But he was not doing anything like that. He just used to crawl. Then I had to take my own initiative of making him understand that there are better ways of movement, and you please try to be on your legs, stand on your legs, try to. So I used to hold his hand and make him do that. So after practicing that with him, then he started picking up on his own. So that
Okay.
for the time being, that alarm went away, because when he's just realized that I can walk on my legs, started running also like anything.
Okay.
So then what happened is that, as because I had no idea that autism existed or there is any such thing as autism, which was a Greek and Latin for me, so I didn't give it much importance then. But what happened is that he started just only taking the gestures. He was not talking anything. He never babbled also, which I actually never then took it very seriously. So he never babbled, he never said anything. But what missed on my part is that I never realized that he's actually not making any eye contact. He's not
Right,
listening to
right.
people around him. So he was not
Mm-hmm.
talking also. But then for that also there is a time. So then, as Naomi said, that people say, okay, it will come all right. You are worrying about the walking, now you have started worrying about the speech. So that's what people advised me. So I had to wait for some time, and then I put him into the kindergarten school. When he was not even 2.5, I put him a little early so that he starts talking. But then the school started telling me that he is actually not like the others. But others can pick up, he's not able to. He is actually not taking any interest in the class, because they were also not aware that actually he's an autistic. So then I was
Yeah.
alarmed whether he is okay with the hearing, his hearing
Right.
process. So I had to take him for the better test. And it was there
Right.
for the first time I came across the term autism. They told me he is otherwise absolutely okay, but he is autistic. And for that, you have to approach a proper doctor. But they didn't tell me that actually you have to approach a psychologist. Then my only option was to
Okay.
approach his pediatric. I told her, she was a lady doctor. I told her that he's not coming up with a speech. And then she recommended that then you have to go to a psychiatrist for a proper assessment. And my journey begins from there.
So that's how the treatment and the therapies, everything started for him.
No, immediately I really could not help him, because Kolkata at that moment was not aware. So he's already 17 now, 17 years back. When we were in Kolkata as city was not so aware of the disease. Was not so aware of the, we should not call it a disease, the way you call it, the neuro disorder, whatever. So I hardly had any help then. Even when I went to the psychiatrist and he was asking me to look for a special educator, it was very tough for me to find someone who is eligible to teach my son. And then after much looking here and there, I got someone who's told me, because he used to address people in a wrong manner. Either he used to call everybody Baba or he used to call everybody Ma. And who is the person standing in front of him? He didn't have the patience to look up and see. So I had to paste pictures on this thing, a scrapbook I made, where I pasted each individual's pictures and put his hand on that and started making him identify the persons.
Identify.
And then gradually he started picking up. That also, whoever will interact with him more, he will be able to realize that person earlier, identify that person earlier, and who will not take interest in him, that person he will not be interested in. So it
Right.
also depends on the kind of motivation he's having towards the person.
Yes, absolutely. And how did your family take it, Indrani ma'am? Were they, acceptable towards it? What was their, mindset and thought process at that
Everything was
time when you
very
came to know about?
supportive, because just like me, they were also ignorant of the fact that what is this autism and what all. My father, he was a pathologist. Even then, he also could not give me any proper suggestions. He said that he will be, your child will be coming all right. For a long time, he kept pacifying me with those words. But I could really see that I could make a good difference from the other children around him, because he was going to a normal school where everybody is picking up in a normal way, in their
Right,
own way.
right.
I mean, in a fast pace, you can say, a fast or a slower pace, whatever you call it. He was not able to pick up like the other children. So
Right.
that was a constant complaint I was having from the school, that he's not picking up. He will not pick up anything from here. You have to give him extra guidance, some extra help, some extra support. And that extra support I needed from someone. But from whom I will get that was a big question for me then. So that is how
So,
actually early intervention got delayed, because I couldn't
yeah,
find a
exactly.
proper person to guide me, to lead me through and my crisis, what I was facing then.
So, Naomi, do you think like lack of resources or lack of the reliable person around your society or community that really affects the intervention to a greater, very great level?
It does. It does. I would say it's also there's no one center, like one space where a parent can go ask a
Mm.
question, find an educator, find a psychologist, find a psychiatrist, something, right? Some space or some group that a parent can go and ask. That is lacking. There are
Yes.
educators. There are lots of special educators who are doing excellent work in their own spaces, but there's nothing where all of us come together and be one group. Let's say in this city, one group where any parent living in the city can just come, access this group, access the resources, and get what they need. That is missing. There are lots of
Exactly.
organizations, lots of people working in their own space, but it's difficult for parents to find who's the right person for their child.
That reachability is still less.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
That's right. That's really saddening. Ki, in spite of having Google and all these things, and people are approaching so many places, still there are some people who are deprived of such important, the
yeah,
things which should be there at their end. They are still deprived of all these interventions and all these therapies and all these things.
yeah.
And Shivali, when parents come to you, when they are not able to accept the fact, so how do you counsel them? How do you deal with them?
See, I will actually come to the previous question that you were saying that there are not
Yeah.
enough groups which can give you the right place and connect with the right people. So the spectrum autism is precisely doing that, bringing people together.
Yes,
All the
absolutely.
people, whether these are educationists or counselors or psychologists or somebody like Naomi, so we are bringing people together. The idea is to actually be that one place where if a parent needs help, you should be able to extend that help in terms of connecting them, and this is what we're
Yes.
trying to do. We are not I'm not saying 100% queries we've been able to address to, but yes, we have been able to help people provide and connect with the right person, do the right analysis, what should be done, who should they contact, and all of it is there.
Right.
So that,
Absolutely.
fortunately, because everybody has come together, we've been able to do. Now, coming to your question of how do I counsel parents, see, again, of course, when parents start to accept, which happens at a very delayed time, which actually they would have taken 2, 3, 4 years and sometimes even more time to accept the fact that the child is in spectrum or has some or the other kind of a disorder or disability. See, something like a physical disability, which is easy to be identified,
Yes,
somebody
exactly.
is not able to
You can
see,
see
has,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
something which is
Absolutely.
visible, it is easy to accept also, right? Because easy, as in, I'm saying this is a relative word, I'm not saying it's an easy situation to be in, but what I'm trying to say here is something which is visible, even the community accepts it, right? Okay, yes, this person has a challenge and therefore accepted. Something which is not visible and something which takes time for the parents and the child also takes time to display his her own
Absolutely.
complete situation that he or
Right.
she is in. So that acceptance becomes a problem, even if there is a gut feel, like Naomi said, that the parents should listen to. Most times, the gut feel is like taken as a fear. What if my child is in that situation?
Yes.
What would I do? It cannot happen to me. So there's a lot of guilt. There is a lot of victim mindset that parents get into, and I'm not holding them wrong. It is very natural to have that
It's
fear.
but obvious that one will
It
get it.
Yeah, you don't want your child to be in that space. You want the child to be absolutely fine. And the matter of fact is, whether it is in spectrum or any other neurodevelopmental disorder, like Naomi says, 100% cure is not possible, but that doesn't mean the progress is not going to happen. So what I do essentially talk to them just like I'm talking to you now. When you're there with the child and the child is dependent on you, might as well everybody works like a team together. Identify what are the stages the child is in, as in what else is there and what can be done for it. So any occupational therapy required, any speech therapy required, any counseling for the parents. I'm doing counseling for several parents who have kids in the spectrum and otherwise also. So, while the child needs a therapy, the parents and the family definitely needs a lot of support and helping hands. So, I think we should all just come together to be there for the family who needs help. to whatever capacity that we can do. So that is what I essentially suggest them, that while you are approaching a doctor, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist, might as well look after yourself also, because you need a lot of support.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Shivali. And it's very important for the community to accept them, to become inclusive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, coming to that, Indrani ma'am, I'm sure you must have faced a lot of challenges. And like, how do you feel the community can be, positive towards such an individual, and how can they be inclusive?
See, nothing like you can enforce anyone. It is a person's own will, a person's own initiative
Yeah.
that the person has to take. The moment they see my son, they must have been realizing that he is a little different. If it's a disorder, it's a disorder, and that's the way it has to be accepted. So we are
Yeah.
calling it disorders, autism spectrum disorder. Disorder means a disorder. So that means not
Yeah.
following the order he's supposed to. And for that, of course, he needs help and motivation from the others. Because as far as I've observed him, his own motivation is very feeble for anything which is worldly, anything which is materialistic. He has never asked a single thing till date for himself. He will not ask for a dress also. He will not ask for a toy. He will not ask for anything in the world. What he knows by himself. Like he knows music. Whenever he will hear a music, that he picks up on his own. I don't need to tell him that why you have
Hmm.
picked up this song, why you have learned this song, or you learn this song. You play it and he will pick it up. That is his positive point. That is way of moving. So if the community has to include them, then the community has to come forward. He will never go to anyone. He's not just not bothered who is talking to him, who
Right.
is not talking to him. Makes no difference to his world as long as his needs are being catered. So I have seen that people, they try initially one or two questions, and when he's not interested to answer, they leave him at that state and they go away. So that patience I cannot ask from anyone, that no, you have to stand there, you have to get his
Yes.
attention until unless he is in contact with you, he's having eye contact and is paying proper attention to you, he will not answer, he's not bothered. That thing has to be there. Even for me also, when I'm sitting with him for any session, whether it's academics or any other thing, I have to get his attention. Now, because he is so
Right.
very much used to
Right.
my voice, he immediately responds. But he will not do the same for everyone, because
Correct.
generalization in them is very weak. That generalization can only happen if the society gets inclusive, because the society has to keep the patience, has to invite that child to their home, maybe just for 10-15 minutes, making him sit beside him, talking to him, asking some general questions, because he will know then there are other people that he has to interact to. Otherwise, he knows that
Yes.
his parents are only
Absolutely.
there to interact, and he is not he doesn't need to talk to anybody else because its needs are being catered by us. So that the
Hmm.
becomes the greatest concern for the parents, what to the child after us, how the child will cope up with the society, how the child will cope up with the community, even the home where I may select to keep him after I'm not there. There also he has to cope up with the environment. I don't know how people will behave with him there, because he will have his own individuality. Even being an autistic child, just like Naomi told me, that every autistic individual is different. They have their own needs.
Right.
So I think it's a community, the society, they have to come forward. Our children will never go. I've seen him putting him in a group of children. He's standing in a corner. He's not playing with anyone because they have not called him. They're not asking him, please come and kick the ball. Until unless you
Yes.
tell him you come and kick the ball, he will not kick the ball. He's not interested. He's playing with his hands, he's playing with his fingers, his sensory issues. He's always in his world doing all that. Whatever he knows, he will do that. But whatever you want him to do, for that, you have to take the initiative.
You
You
have
have
to
to tell him.
talk to
You
him,
have
you
to
have to
listen to him.
tell him. Yes, you
They are
have to
very
come forward. So
command
that's
dependent.
important.
A lot of command dependent. Independently, it's very less things that they do. Even
Right.
being Krishnendu's mother, I have to say this, that very little things that they do it on their own until and unless they're motivated towards it. There's some good food. He's a very foodie person. When you keep a food in front of him, that he will come up on his own to eat. Then you don't need to invite him. He loves chocolates. He loves whatever he loves. If that is there, then so sometimes we use it as a reinforcement, that okay, you do this
Yeah.
job and you get this. But that actually is that it's a wrong process. I call it, it's like bribing. I don't want to bribe him because I cannot give him so much of sweets. He will put on weight very badly. So these things are always there,
Absolutely.
coming in between.
Yeah, when it comes to understanding an individual, there are a lot of misconceptions also which are related to them. So Naomi, can you please talk about some misconceptions which are related to autism?
Um, there are a lot of things that people have heard about autism, but because it's also generalized to a group, because people think that everybody on the spectrum is the same. So every child will have the same ways of being or behaving. So there are a lot of misconceptions, but one of the few that I have heard, especially when I try to sort of promote inclusion in schools. One of the things that I've heard, and I think I addressed in my previous talk, is that parents of neurotypical children will say, "But my child will copy those behaviors. So how can we have them in our class?" But what behaviors? What are these behaviors you're talking about? And are you trying to say that your child anyway does not imitate other children otherwise? And only this, they will only imitate the autistic behaviors. And what are these autistic behaviors we refer to, right? Because every child on the spectrum is different. So therefore, then you can't have a certain set of autistic behaviors. And I know of plenty of children who are in mainstream schools and are doing very well, and the other children, and they're all in one class, and they're very accepting of each other. So it's not the kids that are excluding, it's the adults. We are the ones who don't promote inclusion in those spaces, right? Another misconception, I think, would be that they label children. So children on the spectrum, again, because it is a spectrum, they can have different abilities. So some children are talkative, some children are not. Some children are interested very well, in very to do very well in academics, some do not, right? But there is a misconception that all these children fall under a below average sort of level, and that is completely wrong. I know a child who's doing, now he's going into his 10th grade, he's doing 10th grade boards in another year, and he's going to do very well in it, I'm sure. So it's these ideas that we have of this community, and those ideas need to be challenged. Only when those ideas are challenged, only then the community then starts accepting and understanding that this is just another way of being, or another sort of, it's different, that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. And Naomi, like the children, they come to you for the therapy. So does it happen that they leave the therapy or, the medication somewhere in between, or they keep continuing it?
So not medication. We don't. There's no medication for autism
Right,
as such.
right.
There is medication for ADHD if the child is diagnosed also with ADHD, but that medication only if the child. I mean, if it's very severe, the signs. But medication as such is more only for other issues that the child may have.
Right.
But for autism specifically, there's no medication as such. Now therapy can be very different. So if the child's coming to me, I'm a special educator, so I focus mostly on remedial work, where I work with the child on academics and some kind of socialization, some behaviors as well. So that therapy as such, the child, if the child leaves, we can't really do anything about it, and hopefully the parent continues doing the same activities at home, and then there is progress. But if the child continues with one person and does it consistently, then you will see some amount of progress. And all children will progress, it just at their own pace, and we need to be patient enough to watch out for that.
Absolutely right, Naomi, that they need to be patient. And Shivali, you have come up with that beautiful page, the spectrum autism. You just had, described us a little, briefed us about that thing. Can you tell us more about it, and how did, just this idea came to your mind that you are going to open it for this particular reason or cause only?
Sure. So, but before that, I'd like to tell Indrani ma'am that How beautifully Krishnendu sang the other day when he was there, part of the musical extravaganza with us, and so charming smile he has. What wonderful person that he is. So many
Absolutely.
congratulations to you for your hard work that you've done. It shows so beautifully well, ma'am. So yeah, coming back to the spectrum autism. I was actually counseling and coaching a parent, actually a couple. So it was a group sessions that I was taking who have ADHD and autistic child at home. But this was happening 6 7 months ago, and it was going fine. So the couple showed signs of improvement themselves, their parenting skills and everything. And I, in the evenings, I take my Gita chanting sessions with some students, some school going youngsters. So one of the child has a sibling who is an autistic kid. And when I saw her in the background, couple of times she would sit, she would nod, she would listen, she'll walk around, and all of it was there. So I thought, let me check with her parents, how are they raising? Because both kids are very, very different from each other. And so I happened to meet the parents, Mr. and Mrs. Day, and they're extremely, extremely, I would say, passionate and very positive parents. Passionate because they never gave up. They just never gave up on the kid. So
That's
they have a
nice.
daughter who's Shomi Day, and she's the reason why I thought that no, something needs to be done. The family literally made shook me up. Their experience shook me up, and I thought there is I have been writing before that also. I have been, doing some work around it, coaching people, but then something had to be, done more than writing and just reading your own work. So I thought, okay, fine, let me do something which is very constructive. If at least I'm able to help one family, that would be good enough for me. With that approach, I started. So it was like that 31st of January, I was sleeping, and in my bed, I just got up quickly, created the page, and in the morning I spoke to some of wonderful people that I have as part of this team. I'm just a representative here. It is the team which is doing all the work, and I spoke to them, and immediately 10, 12 of them said, yes, we will join in and we'll do whatever it takes to take the message forward. So that is how the spectrum autism came into being. And last couple of months, actually just 2 months old, the group is. We have been able to do few things. We took one step at a time because none of us were, I would say, subject matter experts. So we had people who were educationists, some special educators, somebody like me who knows psychology to some extent. And then what we thought that whatever is required, we will ask people, we'll ask professionals to collaborate with us. And Naomi is one of those people who very generously accepted, and not just once, twice she took time for us, and she really educated. She's the one who conducted the community sensitization program for us, which is available on the YouTube. Afterwards we thought that let's get into inclusion, because awareness is one thing,
Yes.
acceptance will happen when people are knowing what can be done with the kids, right? So
Right.
we conducted something like musical extravaganza in which Krishnendu was part of, and so was Ritvik Rajan. So it was amazing to see, those kids perform. It was, I had goosebumps all over. My hands were shivering, and I was thinking, what excitement, what amazing talent these kids have. It's just that you need to find them at the right time. And like as Naomi said once, you got to meet them where they're coming from. And I remember this because this has really made an impact on me. Meeting the child where the child is coming from. I think that was very important. Today itself, we had this dance movement therapy, which is another, one more extension to inclusion, because so two of the teammates who are there in Salem and Tanjavur, Umayal and Sudha, they have their schools, they're educationists, and they conducted a program along with Mansa, who is owner of the Anahata Dance Academy, and we had dance movement therapy session today morning itself to celebrate, uh, celebrate in the sense that we are celebrating inclusion, nothing else.
Inclusion.
Everybody
Absolutely.
was there, and kids had so much fun. All sort of kids were there, and they were like enjoying like crazy. We had a wonderful time today. So this is what we are trying to do, taking those small steps, moving 1 inch forward, not claiming to do something which is like a big sea change, but I'm happy making those small changes here and there in different pockets. And if awareness comes, nothing like it. Acceptance, yes, is what we're looking for. So that was from my end.
I'm sure, Shivali, more and more people will join you. More and more people will be there with, in this karma to move towards the acceptance and build an inclusive society, inclusive
Like
community.
Amreen says, inshallah. So, inshallah to that.
And Naomi, you also have this wonderful venture of Inclusive Ed. So, how did you come about it, and how can people approach it?
So Inclusive Ed started 4 years ago in 2018. At that point of time, of course, before the pandemic, it was a physical space in Whitefield. The idea behind Inclusive Ed was to have a space where any child, it could be a neurotypical child, it could be a neurodivergent child, any child could walk in and feel safe, have a space where they belong, have a space where they are heard, and where they are felt that they can say or they can speak whatever they want to,
Right.
just a space for them. My focus was on helping them through their challenges. So whatever their needs were, I work on that, whether it's academics, whether it is other, socialization skills, whether it is certain behavioral challenges that they have, but of course keeping in mind their own rights and their own individuality, not forcing anything on them as such. So that was the
Yes.
idea behind Inclusive Ed. Of course, now during the pandemic, everything shifted. It all became online, and
On.
I took a while to get online because I was very nervous about have doing this with my kids online. It was a very new space, and I didn't know how my kids would react. So but touch wood, it has been very good for me and the kids, I think. So the last 2.5 years has been online, and it still is. So right now I've closed my physical space, so right now everything is online.
Okay.
And yeah, so I work basically on their needs and what they come with.
That's wonderful, Naomi. Shivali, both of you, like it's really nice to know that you both are working in spreading awareness, in connecting more and more people towards, this cause, towards this drive. As Indrani ma'am said that there were lack of resources at her end initially. So when we are doing something in that manner, in, to bring the things forth, that really helps a lot. That I'm sure it's going to help many people around, because more awareness, of course, more and more people can guide you about it, and more can, tell you that this is, what you can do about it if you have some problem. So this is what you can do about it, this is whom you can approach about it. So this is really a commendable thing that you both are doing towards. So very nice about it.
No, actually, there are a lot of people who join the force, and when there are more people around you, you
Yeah,
feel confident. Yes, you're going in the right direction. Yes, you're doing the
absolutely.
right things. So I think it is a team effort, whether it is Naomi, me, or Indrani ma'am, or you, everybody else together. We as community, when we come together, then changes will happen. And
Changes will happen.
these are times when things should change now.
Yes,
And change is
absolutely.
small. Change needs to start small. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be major. It just has to be each one of us doing our little bit to make sure that that child's life changes for the better, or that child is supported better. So any parent that comes, to me, especially new parents, because it's a very difficult time for new parents, because they have society telling them what to do with their child, they have the doctors telling them what to do with the child, they
Right,
have their
right.
own their own sort of wishes or their own needs about the child. So change needs to happen just at those levels, right? Each individual parent supporting each individual parent at that time, so that they also get so that they know that the journey is okay. It doesn't have to be this big challenging problem that everybody thinks it is. There are challenges, but there are challenges with neurotypical children also.
Yes,
Nobody, no
absolutely.
neurotypical child also has a very easy straightforward life.
Yeah,
So
true.
we just need to look at the child, as an individual, and accept those strengths and those challenges as they are, and that's what matters.
That's true now. Very well said. And in the end, I just want to sum up with, one question that I want to ask Indrani ma'am that, ma'am, do you want or do you want to convey any message to the community from Krishnendu's point of view? Anything that he wants to say, that he wants to express and want the, people to think and change themselves about?
First of all, that Krishnendu's pattern and necessities has to be understood by people who want to approach him for anything, because they also have their own individuality, as we have already discussed. So, like Krishnendu doesn't like too much of instructions given, repeated instructions, especially. You have to give him extra time to get it registered and then reciprocate. That he loves. Immediately, he doesn't like to move or obey your command, whatever command you're giving him. For that also he takes extra. So that extra time he has to be given, whether it's a school, it's anyone's house, any other place. Otherwise, I have always tried to. I have always considered him to be like a normal person, like we are. The way we act. I've taken him to restaurants. I have taken him to shopping malls. I have taken him everywhere. So he knows how to behave. He's a perfect restaurant boy. He will sit there from starting from soup starter to everything. He will have it just like the way you will have it. So those things I have tried to make him learn. Not necessarily that everyone has to be very good in academics. Like for academics, he has very less interest. That is also because the school could not provide him with the kind of his needs or necessities or requirements. There were constant complaining coming even when I was in Bangalore. I thought it will be a better place to approach, but sorry, I didn't. I don't want to mention anything individually, or I don't want to be personal for anything, but yes, I was very disappointed from many schools. Ultimately, I had to come to the understanding that he cannot be an inclusive part. So from there, I had to shift from the inclusive part to a special setup, where at least teachers will not say your child is doing this and your child is doing that. So that is very disheartening for the parents, because it is not nothing intentional. First, everybody has to understand whatever he's doing is not intentional. From part of Krishnendu, this is I'm saying, he doesn't do anything intentional. It is his necessity or the way he expresses whatever, because they cannot think of perfect words to express themselves, even if they know. Like Krishnendu understands two languages very spontaneously, both his mother tongue Bengali as well as English. He's able to, because when we were in Bangalore, he had to cope up with English because his mother tongue nobody understands, and then teaching in English is also easier than Bengali, because speaking Bengali
Right.
is okay, but learning Bengali is much tougher than
It's
English.
difficult.
That I can tell you. So I started gradually teaching him how to talk in English, how to write in English, how to read books from. But as because his early intervention got delayed, I really could not actually motivate him in the academics. But when I saw that music in him actually excels, I immediately got that point and I started moving in that direction. He's a guru, by God's grace, I got a guru who actually is also interested in Krishnendu, and he has the most lofty opinion about him. Most exalted opinion. He says, "You all can make mistakes, but don't tell me that Krishnendu make mistakes." So this is the kind of
Right.
is he's
Lovely.
giving so much of pleasure. At least in some points, he's there where I will not have to hear any complaint. You may have to learn 4 times, because I also learned with him. You may have to learn 4 times, but he doesn't need that 4 times repetition. One time is enough for him. So that way, so what I'm asking the community, please understand each and every child, not only for autism but for anything. Please try to understand them, how they are, what they actually expect from you, because a child is a child. And
Yes.
another way, that our children's maturity is not like it's not age appropriate maturity. If you look at my child, he will feel like he's a 3.5 years old child with the mustache and beard coming out now these days, which I need to trim. So I cannot help it. That's the way he is.
Yeah, absolutely, Indrani ma'am. So we all need to be a little more sensitive, a little more patient, and let's listen to them. Let's give some more time to them, and let's be more aware. And to be more aware, you can follow the page, The Spectrum Autism, and you can also search for Inclusive Ed also. So please do that. And thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of this show, for helping us in this cause to spread awareness about autism. This was such a wonderful session that we have today, and I'm sure many and many people are going to benefit from these talks that we had today. So thank you so
Thank,
much, our esteemed
thank
guests.
you.
This is really
Thank
Nice
you,
that you
Shweta.
spared some time for us.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having us here. And there is just one small request I need to make. We have today only we've started a slogan contest. So all those writers and bloggers on Story Scrapers are invited to write their slogans. There is a word limit, and I'm looking forward to it, not just from the bloggers community, but we are also looking forward to the corporates to join us in this drive. We would need a lot of support from everybody. So please be there for each other. And Krishnendu is a very charming kid, and we all love him so much. So please give him lots of love. And thank you so much, Shweta and Story Scrapers, for having us here today. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Shweta.
Everyone.
Thank you. It's indeed our pleasure. And thank you so much to the audience who are always there to support us, especially when we are talking about such a crucial or an important topic. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a nice evening. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. You were an amazing hostess. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.